new bid for Manchester United right back. UGARTE latest. Manchester United official squad confirmed for the Manchester City game, as well as some other Manchester United news. Don't forget to stay tuned and let's get straight into it. So we're going to be talking about the UGARTE deal now. Fabrizio has provided an update on that deal, and the reports are that deal is still on. Now, we heard on Monday from Fabrizio Romano that this UGARTE deal could be off for Manchester United, but it's being reported by Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United spoke to the agents of some midfielders, but they're still waiting for Manuel UGARTE. He is the priority. Don't worry. Actually, no, I'll talk about that in a moment. He said Manchester United and PSG are still in negotiations over the signing of Manuel UGARTE. He and George Mendes, his agent, want the move to happen. United are looking at other midfield options, but the deal isn't 100% off. That was from Pletty Goal. So listen, some really big transfer news there. Manchester United and the UGARTE deal is still on, and that's something that they are still exploring now. They've obviously talked about other players and been linked to other players like Sanderberg, Fofana, Amrabat. They've obviously been linked to these sort of players, but Manchester United still have firm interest in Manuel UGARTE, and they do want to go ahead with this deal. They think UGARTE is the player who they can kind of bring to Manchester United, and they really think that a bid and a deal can get done. Now, moving on, Fabrizio Romano also did have another big update. He said, don't worry, Manchester United will be really busy in the next days, weeks for the final part of the transfer window. Now, that is a positive. I mean, listen, Fabrizio Romano is very reliable and accurate when it comes to news. I mean, he has said a couple of times Manchester United will be accurate and active in the window, but obviously they haven't been in the last couple of weeks. So hopefully he's right with this one, because I think Manchester United need to certainly bring in 3 to 5 signings. And that's something that Samuel Luckhurst has reported from the Manchester Evening News that Manchester United are looking to do. So that is a huge positive in itself. I think we need to bring in other players ASAP. I think we need players ASAP just to help boost our squad. I mean, our squad is so thin going into that game against Man City tomorrow, which I will discuss in a few moments. But now I'm going to move on talking about a new Manchester United left back. So Manchester United met with Ferdy Kadioglu representative to discuss personal terms, so they proceed with a deal to sign the left back. Ferdy wants to play in Premier League and is open to England move this summer. So, on that situation, Manchester United obviously still want a full-back, and we are still very thin. I mean, Luke Shaw can't make the squad again for another Manchester United game. He will be missing, and he is a very huge liability. Malacia, we don't know what's happened with him. Like, we do need to sign the left-back, and Kadioglu does seem like one of them. I think he can also play right-back as well. Coming in from Fenerbahce, Manchester United reportedly are going to make a bid of around £30 million for him. Now, if the rumours are that he is highly talented and he is a very good defender. I don't know too much about him, but with the things that have been talked about him, I think he does seem like a very good player, someone who can help Manchester United, and I do think we do need a fullback. He has been talked about before. It's coming in from Turkey, nothing really in the UK media yet around the deal, but it is certainly very interesting to see what does happen with Kadioglu to Manchester United. As I said, I'm not going to lie and say that I've seen many games of him, but he wants to play in the Premier League and is open to the move this summer. I think £30 million is very interesting. It's a decent price. I mean, the report that's coming from has over 1 million followers on Twitter, so it is kind of a reliable source. So let's see what happens with the defensive situation as well. If all goes to plan, the double sign of Nusra Mezraoui and De Ligt will happen. Positive and ongoing negotiations are underway. Progress is being made. Now, on that defensive situation, I mean, Kadioglu being someone who reported, I don't think we will sign Kadioglu and Mezraoui. I think one of them will be signed, and at that current moment, it does seem like it will be Mezraoui with the negotiations a bit further ahead. But there's no point ruling out a deal to sign Kadioglu. I think he's a very interesting and decent defender. Someone who's got some very good qualities on the ball, and someone who is really fantastic. What he can offer to this team will be interesting. But on the Mezraoui situation, there's been no real updates, just that Manchester United is still interested in the deal, and we kind of know that negotiations are happening now. Hopefully Manchester United can get some signings in. I mean, before that first game in a week against Fulham, I don't know if it could happen, but let's see what happens anyway. Surrounding that defensively, I think we do need some more players to come in. I think Erik ten Hag knows that, and I think it will be interesting to see what happens if Ineos will make those moves. And I think we need to now. For the final part of the video, I'm going to talk about Manchester United squad. Yeah, I'm going to be talking about the squad for the game against Manchester City. So I'm going to go through the squad, and there are some big positives. So the full travelling squad to London for Manchester United's game against Man City. And we've also got some positive news surrounding Manchester City as well. So we've got goalkeeper Onana, Bayindir and Heaton, so 3 goalkeepers. Defenders, Delo, Maguire, Evans, Martinez, Amas. That's a positive. I mean, Maguire being back, you can say a lot about Maguire. He's not a good defender, he's not this, he's not that, he's not a leader. But one thing you can say, he puts himself fit and he's trying everything he can to be fit for this game. I mean, you look at someone like Shaw. I mean, he did a lot to get fit for the Euros. And he's not fit for Manchester United's last pre-season game, I'm going to call it. Into midfield, we've got Casemiro, Mount, Collier, McTominay, Mainu and Bruno. And at attackers, you've got Rashford, Ahmad, Anthony, Garnacho, Sancho, Pelestri and Xerxes. So I think the midfield and the attack is really stacked. I mean, we've got 5 defenders for that game against City, and 4 of them will start. I think it will be Maguire and Martinez who does start. I think Amas is definitely going to start at left back with Delo at right back. And with the Wan-Bissaka injury, this is going to jeopardise his move to West Ham. We don't know what can happen with that. I think it is certainly very interesting to see when he will return from injury, because we never know what could happen. We don't know if it's a long-term, short-term injury, but we know that Lindelof, someone who's expected to leave, Wan-Bissaka, Luke Shaw, all not in the squad. Obviously Yoro, but he's going to be staying and he's injured. They're not all in the squad. I mean, midfield-wise, I think it will be... I mean, no Eriksen in the squad. That is very interesting. Maybe he's leaving, maybe he's injured. I mean, we don't know. Who will play midfield? It'd be Casemiro, McTominay, Mainu, I think. I think Mainu will actually start, but I would personally... I think he would go for Casemiro, McTominay, and Mainu, and then he'd go Bruno, Rashford. Well, I think Bruno and Sancho, well, one of them will start in the false 9, but I think it'd be Sancho, false 9, Bruno in the 10, with Mount and Casemiro. I think it'd be Rashford and Ahmad on the wings. I think that's the team Ten Hag will go for. But some interesting things and reports there about Manchester United. Listen, let's see what happens. But I'm really happy with some of the news that's come out. I mean, the Kadiologu deal, that seems positive. We've got some interesting news on the squad as well. So yeah, let's see what happens. Manchester City as well, they've got some players out. I mean, Rodri, Stones, Foden and Walker will not be part of this game, which is a huge positive surrounding that Manchester United game against Man City. We'll be live with all the reaction before and after the game, so let's see what happens. Leave a like, comment and subscribe.